Hello all, welcome back to Final Fantasy 12, excuse me, I almost said Final Fantasy Tactics. Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age Struggle for Freedom, and now we're on Barhiem Passage. What you are seeing at the moment, I'm just going to do that for a second, there we go. What you are seeing at the moment, hold on one more second, whoops, going to make a few more clicks here, sorry about that. There we go, okay. Alright, so last time, we fell all the way to Barhiem Passage. This time around, we have to escape from Barhiem Passage. So we need to find the fuse to install in this tube here in order to get the lights back on. What you are currently seeing, however, is the old version of Struggle for Freedom. I'm going to explain what happened there. I somehow realized that this patch was not updated as much as I thought it was, so I had to re-patch the game with the latest 1.3 version. What you're seeing right now is what the old version would be like if you were playing this game playing this game when it first came out. And then when the screen fades back to this room here, I'll be showing off the newer version of this patch, where going through this is actually a lot more bearable. Well, maybe not a lot more bearable, but more bearable than version 1.0. What happened was that I had a lot more footage of this, but I didn't want to have you see me lollygagging for 20 minutes or something to just get through this passage and run back and forth. It just would have taken way too much work. But you will get, however, a bit of a taste of what the older patch would be like if you're playing this. It's not fun, let me just tell you that.
Hey, who turned out the lights? One of those?
I've heard of these. Mimics. They disguise themselves as all manner of things, then strike when you're least wary. Some of them have a fondness for energy, I'm told. They gorge themselves on the stuff till there's naught left.
So, what happens then?
Lights out, and it's worse in the dark. Much worse. So, let them get too close to one of those conduits, and they'll suck it dry. But don't worry, it'll give the energy back if you ask nicely. Sticking it with a sword helps too. Clock's ticking.
Sorry about that once again, this time around I was just trying to close Discord. But yeah, these are the Barhiem Mimics. The Barhiem Mimics themselves can suck up electricity, and if they suck up the electricity, then undead spawn, and lots of them do spawn. Now what you're seeing here is a more brutal version of this. As you see right there, when the Barhiem Mimic uses discharge, it can inflict disable. Which would be unbearable. Like, I don't know what Erno was, no offense to Erno, I love you, man, but I don't know what you were thinking, when, or whoever's idea it was. I don't know what this person was thinking when they thought giving them the disable ability was such a good idea. It was obviously a brain fart, of a move there. I'm just throwing some valid criticism out there, because you offer, this section of the game offers no way to combat against disable whatsoever, and as a result, you basically just potentially lock your players into a dead game. That's basically what the 20-minute video is going to be all about. I mean, obviously you can tell by the length of this video is going to be a lot longer. That's because I actually go somewhere this time around. Basically here, this video, if I had known that I didn't patch the correct version of the game, it just would have been the video of me ranting about how stupid this is. But yeah, I mean, look at that. But in all honesty, though, even from a beta standpoint, how fair was it to, if you give a monster an attack that can completely disable your whole party, and you have no way of not only attacking, but you have no way to prevent the Barhiem Mimic from healing itself. Because that's the other thing too. When it sucks up more electricity, look at how much health it just got back. I mean, that's just borderline preposterous here. I mean, granted, in the original version, if you left it alone for way too long, yeah, it'll get all of his health back eventually, and it will suck the electricity dry. But still, like, this is just ludicrous. I mean, that's just, I mean, it's just a difficulty spike not needed, and I'm just glad that, in the new version 1.3, Eternal and I was actually talking about this. The new version, it replaces disable from immobilize, which is annoying, but it's not as game breaking. At least I don't think, anyways. Like I know you want the game to be hard, but this is the wrong kind of hard, right there. So I'm just glad that 1.3 changes that to at least ease up on that. But yeah, this is basically what you're seeing right here. Like, I'm having this is what you would be dealing with if you're playing this game 1.0. You would have a horrendous time dealing with that mimic. Now, here's a transition right here, where this is version 1.3. Now, what I did was, while I was trying to get through the thing and upload a video for you guys, I did some off-screen grinding. So you can see why my HP is actually up by a little more, and now I actually gave Balthier the Capella gun, which from what Eterno told me that is a lot more helpful this time around. And of course, I got the Kill 'em Weaves shirt, which is a new Mystic shirt that you can grab here. I was actually a bit surprised that I was actually going to snag it. I didn't think that zombies would carry that. But then again, in the vanilla version, I wouldn't really think to farm against zombies. I always do a proficient enough job of just killing berry mimics, which weren't really hard to begin with. Alright, bomb enemies. Well, you all know how they work. If you don't kill them in time, they explode. That's simple. Unfortunately, aside from an occasional aqua mode, you don't really have any water spells to really take it out, so you're just better off just hammering it with physical attacks like so. Of course, though, even with the new version of 1.3, this place can still give you a bit of a hard time. Which is why that whatever money you might have saved up, it's wise to invest into potions, antidotes, things like that. Ethers, you have to be kind of selective about, but unfortunately, I can't be that selective with ethers because how much MP Fran pisses away just to be able to heal. Of course, it's always a good idea to reset your gamuts a little bit too, especially when you're when you're dealing with a lot of monsters that can inflict a number of negative status effects on you. Yeah, I know I did some off-screen grinding, but I also did some selling as well, like some loot, sold some loot and was able to buy some new equipment from the bazaar. And I'm not sure why, but for some reason, my Steam game paused itself. I don't know what happened there. It's just one of the things that it just does happen, unfortunately. And of course, we still got the stealing bats. We also got some new enemies, the ghast, or the specters rather. And I still a Katetsu katana. Then again, I did not know you can steal from at the time while I was just recording and fighting here. And of course, you can see Bosch die quite a bit because him being a equipmentless fighter, he's not really going to be offering much damage. The best he's doing is just he's just better off as a meat shield, for as long as you want to keep him up for it, that is. But don't worry, folks. Just like in the original version, Bosch does get a hell of a lot better. Cool, Argyle armlet. There's actually another thing he did with the accessories. Is he tweaked some of the accessories around a little bit. Like the Argyle armlet now, for example, blocks blind and berserk, as opposed to just blocking blind and increasing one's physical attack, like it would be in the vanilla PS4 version or Steam version, depending on what version you're playing. Okay, so again, as long as the Barhiem Mimic is well in charge, undead will just simply keep spawning. And it's not like you just skip past them either, because they will dart after you. And to be honest, if you guys just don't, at this point in the game, you just can't hit hard enough to just ignore the other enemies. You really have to get rid of the undead that's in your way. Of course, also a good idea to bring Andos along with you too, because you are going to poison a lot here, thanks to the zombie's poison touch. There's another one right here. I mean, I already have the tourmaline ring, which does prevent poison, but you don't have the license to equip it. So, unless you really go out of your way and grind a whole lot, then you know, and buy some more of these rings, and then you can see yourself spending a lot of money on antidotes. Yeah, I mean, there's still admittedly the one annoying thing about this is that you always have to constantly deal with more undead monsters because these Barhiem mimics. I do kind of wish, and this is just coming from my own personal point of view, I do kind of wish that you would ease up on the undead spawning a little bit, especially if you're trying to carry out the task of getting rid of the Barhiem mimics, because it can be a bit. It just gets more difficult than it really should be. If there's one thing I still cry foul on, it's just the respawn rate of the undead monsters. If you could just ease up on that a little bit, I think that would be a bit more bearable. I mean, look at the amount of frames that are dropping here just because there's so many enemies appearing on the screen here. Even that's taking a hit. But alas, at the same time, it's still me trying to work out the best configurations to make sure that the game can run smoothly here. As I'm doing my best here not to waste my elixir. Thankfully, though, once the Barhiem Mimic dies, it'll give back the energy that it was able to suck out of the conduit. But you need at least a minimum of 30% energy in order to be able to open one of the gates. That's just the thing right now. So you definitely want to kill every Barhiem Mimic that you see. Thankfully, unlike the other enemies, Barhiem Mimics do not respawn. Once you kill them, they're gone for good. And yay, more undead spawning. This is where I wish Kiara was a thing, so I can just nuke undead with Kiara. Or even later in the game, Kiraga. Alright, another berry mimic. Thankfully, this berry mimic is not going after the conduit yet. It's just more focused on trying to attack us. But when it does get low on HP, it will dart for the nearest conduit. Like right here. Of course, you want to go after it as fast as you can. And even if you can ignore them, good luck doing so. Because like I said right there, they just pop in. That's the one thing I wish that this game would ease up on, is the undead spawn, because you want to go after the berry mimic, but you can't do that because the undead just spawn in your face, and that detracts your attention, which to me does detract from the gameplay a little bit. Knowing that you're supposed to do this, but you got this in your way. And again, you weigh a little bit too much. But at least in 1.3, the berry mimics are a lot more bearable to fight, considering that all they do now is just inflict immobilize, which does happen to me, by the way. Spoiler word, or not a spoiler word, more like a disclosure. God, it takes so much effort to kill just one bat. And yeah, this is what I'm talking about. They spawn way too much. I mean, I don't know what else I'm really supposed to commentate over. It's just me trying to get ahead, trying to get to the berry mimic, but the undead just keeps getting in the way. And there's the immobilize status effect I was telling you about earlier. And plus, this is something that the Zodiac Age also did too. In the original version, you were able to get Blizzard right away, and you can kill the battery mimics really easily. And Zodiac Age, however, the PS4 version, you don't get Blizzard until after you beat the Mimic Queen boss. Where that's if you go out of your way to visit another village and speak to a vendor that will sell you the Blizzard spell. That was done on purpose to rebalance the Barhiem dungeon to make it not as easy or as crippling. This is just taking a little bit one step further, I think, though. All right, now we're at 47% light energy here, if that's what you want to call it. So again, you always want to make sure that the energy is at least 30% in order for you to open one of the gates. Well, not one of the gates, rather the only gate you should open in order to be able to advance to the next part of the dungeon. That was just me collecting my thoughts for just a moment right there. I really can't wait for Bosch to get better at equipment here. I mean, Grand Shu is not that far away, but you still have enough in your way that that it makes it feels like you're a lot farther away than you really are. Could also just taking a moment here to figure out my next move, of course. And what's my next move going to be? More Resident Evil. And while we're on the topic of the undead here, just gotta say that I'm really stoked about the Resident Evil 2 remake coming out in early 2019. I've been a Resident Evil fan since I want to say the early 2000s. My first one was actually Resident Evil 2. And since then, I started playing the other games too. I even played Code Veronica. I played Resident Evil 4, 5. I beat the original and the remake. 3 I haven't gotten too much experience with, but I'll have to practice. I'll practice a lot of this game when dealing with Nemesis, and know what to do when the randomization mechanic kicks in. Alright, that urn right there contains the map of the Barhiem Passage right there. You are going to want to pick that up, especially if you want to plan out your next approach. For a moment I thought I saw something there, but I guess not. And that was just, and the reason why I was taking another pause right there is because I did notice the frame rate started to drop, and I wanted to let it pick itself back up again. Because what happens at times is, I'm not sure if it's because the enemies appearing too many times at once on the screen, which I think does put my laptop to work. I do want to eventually get a gaming desktop that can handle streaming a lot better than this. I do want to work on that at some point. And the reason why I say this is because, well, when I get all the stuff I like to get again, you know, transfer all my stuff over and whatnot, the Camtasias, the OBS Studios, and the Audacities and all that, once I get all that transferred over to a new PC I want to work on eventually, I wanted to be able to record and stream Steam games a lot better, and not have a chug frame rate from time to time. I mean, on my laptop it works well enough. It does get a bit. It can get a tad bit annoying when I have to deal with the drop frame rates. Of course, that'll come to me in due time. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it can be on my Christmas list this year. Who knows? Alright, this next section right here, I believe you do have to go there. It's not optional, you do have to be there because of the, again, of the battery mimic right there. You have to kill every battery mimic that you see. Because again, otherwise, electricity is just going to, or is this an optional? I believe this one is, because if you want extra electricity in case you're, struggling a bit there, you can always, do that. And finally it died. Excellent. We got a little bit more light here. And this is the annoyance of the immobilize stat right there. It's just basically, you can't move. Well, at least if you're the party leader, you can't move. You gotta switch to a different party leader if you like. But no, other than that, the only thing you can really do about it is just wait for it to wear off. And I'm not gonna separate Balthier and Fran from the party because, I'm gonna need a lot more manpower to take out battery mimics. If I had the Blizzard spell, then sure, I can afford to do that, but fortunately, I don't have that luxury, so wah. Excuse me. I guess I decided to take this moment to level up on my license board anyways, because I figured why not. At least now I'm getting more of an idea on what to be expecting next. Green magic, something you can buy in the clan shop later on down the road. But you know something though, in hindsight, since I did go on my way to grab quickenings anyways, it would be nice to use against the Mimic Queen boss in the next video. So I might just do that. It's already got quickenings already set up and everything. Like as long as I can land quickenings on the boss and then absolutely annihilate it from there, I think that I can shorten boss fights at least. Hopefully. Skeletons, these are new enemies that can spawn here. They actually drop bone fragments. When I used to grind in the Lushu mines, those are the enemies I always go to grind against, because at that point in the game for me, selling a lot of bone fragments gives me like a lot of money. Battle Harness, I believe that enables you to perform a counterattack on occasion. I don't know why I decided to go back down. Maybe there was something I thought I missed, or you know what it is though? I thought at the time this was actually the room where you can flip the gate. Then I was thinking, nope, it's that other room further down. That's what it was. Yeah, this is where checking the map is actually pretty useful. You actually have an idea of where you're going. Barhiem Mimic, kill, kill, kill. And actually looking at this now, you know what I also wish? I also wish that silence could actually prevent discharge from being casted. That should count as a magic spell. It would make dealing with the Barhiem Mimics a lot more bearable, in my opinion. For some reason, I thought the javelin would actually be able to inflict some decent damage, but as you can see, it's barely dealing any damage. Now, I know flans have high physical defense to begin with. I mean, they're made of jelly. But of all the things I expected to do the most damage, I didn't think it'd be I wasn't sure if it was the gun or not, but I do know that they're weak to fire. As you see, if you have a Shillelagh Fang, they can actually do a nice chunk of damage to the flans. And thankfully, you have Fran, the party that can actually cast fire. The one spell is actually worth using at this point in the game. Alright, you can get some green liquids here, and again, more mimics just feeding on the conduit. Arrow, but I don't think that'll be really, I don't think arrows gonna be particularly useful here. Alright, thankfully there's no undead to interrupt me trying to kill a Barhiem Mimic this time around. But there will be another one that we have to kill in order to again use electricity to open the gate. Chip away, chip away, chip away, and down it goes. You can use up a remedy here because I use up all my antidotes at this point. And another one comes in. Oh, god damn it. Another thing I've always noticed too is that fighting bare-fisted, even with Brawler, is kind of worthless because you're not doing as much damage as you normally should. At least I remember that being a thing in the vanilla version of the game. Like I would imagine that what you call it, you should be able to do a suitable amount of damage when you're fighting bare-fisted, but I guess in this game's continuity, I guess in this game mechanics, I guess not. Because I thought there was something around here, but I guess not. Now we're gonna go into the next room. And this next room is where I believe you have to flip the switch. And there's 2 more Barhiem Mimics you have to fight there, but unfortunately, because of Immobilize, I was not able to catch up to the other Barhiem Mimic down below because it shuts off all. It basically sucks up all the energy and pretty much not only that, but then more undead begin to spawn too. There we go, Water Stone. Everyone levels up. Hooray! But too bad this Water Stone can't be used to evolve your Eevee to Vaporeon. Yeah, this is the one thing though. I went out of my way to go after more plants here where I shouldn't have gone after Barhiem Mimics, so that was a dipshit move on my part. So I blame myself for that. So yeah, pretty much right there though, you don't want to go in that particular section of the hallway, because otherwise you're giving the Barhiem Mimic more time to suck up more electricity. Got me another ether, thankfully, but I don't know if that's gonna matter anymore. Or actually, it might matter. I think I give it to Fran, and I believe I have her cast. Oh yeah, I have her cast Cure, because I was running low on HP at that point. I saw a Aquara remote. That's actually rather interesting. Might be helpful for taking out the bombs, but Yep, and here's where more undead start to spawn. Yeah, that particular section where the flans were, you were better off waiting until you flip the switch on the gate first, where that wouldn't be a factor anymore. So you gotta take care of business like usual and just whack away at the undeads here. Now this is where things get a little bit interesting. Now I'm out of potions, I believe, at this point, or not yet. But I'm low on potions. I'm out of antidotes. Fran has little to no MP left, so I just have to pray to God that I don't get a game over here at this point. Especially after going through all this. Yeah, I'm trying to use every moat that I can here. Well, not yet, but I do try using up some of the moats. They just don't exactly deal enough damage. Well, I mean, that did a nice chunk of damage there. Kind of wish one. Yeah, because look at that, 200. I mean, it heals a lot more than what we can dish out. That is that's just a little bit unnecessary, but thankfully we killed off the last mimic here. However, the charge is still at 43%, so that means more undeads are going to have to spawn here. I also kind of wish first aid would give a bit of a buff, like bring you back up to maybe 1/3 of your max HP. Because first aid, while it does get you out of critical, it seems kind of worthless at this point. Because what if the enemy hits you hard enough to the point where you're just locked in it anyways? Because at least it gives you a little bit of breather room when you're trying to heal up and fight at the same time. I don't know, just something about first aid to me, I've always found as worthless, just by principle. And I do have high potions with me, and high potions I know I'm not that worried about using because I always just buy them later on when I guild farm enough. There's a switch right there in plain sight. To copy that. Ooh, I'm coming really close to dying here. And I got really lucky with those drops right there, because now I just save myself a little bit of money by doing that. Alright, we can finally flip the switch here to open up the gate. And at this point, I decided to just basically, you know, I mean, I kill off a couple more enemies, I believe, but at that point, I decided to just say fuck it and just flee for it because it's just not worth going out of your way to kill over and over and over again. Especially if it's all just time wasted anyways. Oh boy. Ooh, this is an emoji you guys are gonna see me using first aid, hopefully. Oh boy. At least I thought that I should have just ran away, but no, I decided to be ballsy and decided to fight some more undead. Because Aaron had points. Like, who honestly cares about Aaron had points these days anymore? Alright, now at this point, with all my allies poisoned, now I start to panic. Now I'm starting to thinking, well, shit. Better really heal with everyone I have high potions. And think if I got enough of them to at least get me out of there. Now I say fuck it and run. Of course I lose track of myself for a moment. I'm trying to run away from the monster. I'm thinking, where the hell am I going? Thankfully, I started to get my bearings and started to scoot to the left and up the stairs I go, out of the room I go. Finally. Bosch has fallen, who cares? He should have been dead. He should have been dead months ago. Just run. Just run, I tell you, run! And home free. Base.
Mist seethes.
It reeks. Something's close. Nice moves there, Captain.
You mean traitor?
So they say. But I didn't see him kill anyone.
My brother did.
Rex. He said he had a brother 2 years younger. I see. He meant you. Your brother. What became of...
He's dead.
I'm sorry.
It was you who killed him.
I give you my word. That was not the way of it.
Rex, sir. My name's Rex. All I have left, sir. He's 2 years younger than I, living in
Time, Bosch. Save the discussion for later.
We found them!
But if we arrive after he signed the treaty...
Sir, we have little time. You must go to the
As I
tank.
feared. They're slowing us down.
Captain Ozilis
And for my parents.
Captain, why? Our king, what have you done?
His Majesty was a traitor.
A twin brother. Fancy that. But still, the pieces fit, I'll give you that much. And he did look like you.
I don't believe you.
Of course not. It was my fault that Rex was there. I am sorry.
My brother, he trusted you. He trusted you and he lost everything. How can I believe you?
Not me, then. Believe in your brother. He was a fine soldier. He fought to the last to protect his homeland. Now, surely he fought to protect his brother.
You don't know anything.
Believe what you want to, whatever it takes to make you happy. What's done is done.
Alright, so we finally hear Bosch's story of what happened back in Damascus Castle, but next time we meet, we will explore the rest of Barhiem Passage and take on the Parasite Queen. Until then, see ya!